Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a partial update on my 2024 Atlantic hurricane season forecast. I was going to post a video yesterday or the day before. Like I said in my last video, I was going to start posting more often due to a system that seemed somewhat promising, but then again, not really. But yeah, it never formed, and that is why I delayed the video until now. And we're going to be doing another update on the 2024 hurricane season forecast, especially with the new University of Pennsylvania forecast that just came out, which we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, I will start posting more often again like this. I won't be waiting a week anymore. It's just, like I said, that system is not going to form. I don't want to make y'all watch a video on a system that's not going to form. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to start with the new analogs that I am putting for this year. And these new analogs, these are not like an order of what I think will happen. Like the best analogs, they're just, they're not like an order. Anyway, 2007, 1973, 1988, 1966, and 1970 are new analogs I am putting at least since the last update back in early April. And I'm still using my previous mentioned analogs. Like, I'm not like trashing those. Like, I am still using previously mentioned analogs like the 1998 hurricane season, 2005, 2010, and the other ones. These are just new ones that I'm watching. So, yeah. They're about as equal as the other ones. I'm still like favoring some analogs like 1998 and some of the ones that appear. But still, overall, we are not trashing the previous landfall hotspots or anything like that. They're still pretty much all still holds true. Yeah. Anyway, let's go to my first analog, 2007. So we do see here, in terms of landfalls and just systems and tracks, a lot going through the Caribbean towards the Yucatan. So definitely an increased risk for the Yucatan. Since my last forecast, I don't really forecast Yucatan. Obviously, mainly in the United States, unless of course there's a hurricane hitting the Yucatan or whatever. But yeah, definitely an much increased risk for there. And then of course we have systems going up the East Coast. I do think that'll be an anomaly this year. I do think since my last forecast, I will. The North Carolina, South Carolina risk has increased, at least definitely for early season. Um, so yeah, but then of course we have Florida, Texas, Louisiana still holding true for the 2007 hurricane season. Now, obviously, it's going to be more active than this. It's going to be stronger than this. This is just purely for tracks and things like that. That is what I mean here. That is how I'm determining my analogs. In terms of activity, I don't think we're going to really find that much, obviously, due to how active this season can be. In terms of our next analog, the 1970 Atlantic hurricane season. So again, a lot going into the Gulf and Caribbean. I think this could be a big analog for this year. So a lot of out to sea activity, and obviously not as active as I'm expecting the season to be, but we do have some southern Florida activity around the Florida Keys. What I'm expecting this year is not that much East Coast activity, at least more in the Gulf, kind of what I'm expecting this year. But yeah, a lot towards Texas and Louisiana, up towards the Florida Panhandle, Big Bend area, and some by the Yucatan, but not as much as the previous analog. So definitely increasing risk for the Florida Panhandle, Big Bend area, and parts of Texas. Now, of course, those were already the top of the list, or at least along others of the highest hotspots. They were already the top of the list, but it has increased even more, I believe, since my last update, or at least forecast, you know. And next analog, 1966. So again, more southern Florida activity, and we have a system by southern Florida, and then we have one by the Yucatan, southern Texas, not southern Texas, northern Mexico, and then of course Florida Panhandle, Big Bend area, and Louisiana. So definitely again increased risk for southern Florida, parts of Mexico, Florida Big Bend Panhandle area, that and Louisiana. Mainly the Florida Big Bend Panhandle area in southern Florida is what I'm focusing on the analog for the 1956 hurricane season. And then, of course, we have stuff tracking through the Gulf and Caribbean. And then, of course, we have Carolina activity. It goes up by South Carolina and North Carolina. It seems close enough. It's a Category 1 hurricane, probably gave them some hurricane warnings depending on the system. Once again, obviously, I don't know exactly what hurricane that was off the top of my head. But yeah, 1988 analog, definitely definitely focusing on Louisiana on this one and the Florida East Coast. So 1998 is my main reason why I am increasing the risk since last update, at least for the 19 for the hurricane season of 2024. 1988 is the main analog of why I'm increasing the risk for Louisiana and the Florida East Coast. As we can see here, we have a system going to Tampa there. That is very rare, and I think this is the only analog actually showing a system going into Tampa. The reason I am not increasing the risk for Tampa, that is the Florida Peninsula. That's the part of Florida that's in the peninsula. I'm not saying Tampa's not at a risk, not at all. I'm just saying it's kind of rare for a system to curve like that and hit Tampa. Now, obviously, in the Florida Peninsula, one hurricane hitting South Florida can affect the entire, pretty much like 80% of the state. So I'm not saying you're not at a risk. I'm just saying for a direct hit on Tampa, obviously it's rare. So yeah, but this is definitely an increasing risk for this Florida East Coast, and along with that, most of the Florida Peninsula, and then of course Louisiana, and then we have a system going towards Yucatan and Mexico. Obviously, an increasing risk there. 1973 hurricane season. Again, a system towards Louisiana and Texas, the Yucatan. So that backs up me increasing the risks there. And then, of course, the Florida East Coast. And, of course, by Cuba there. So the 1973 hurricane season. And again, I got these analogs from like looking at sea surface temperatures and stuff, but also there's some computer models that like looks at all the analogs and they update every so often. And these are some of the top analogs or some of the analogs I chose. So, that backs it up even more of like, and these are for track analogs. Obviously, like I said, it's hard to get a. Sorry, we had a cut there. Um, anyway, I don't know if you really noticed it, but yeah, these analogs I chose are like based off computer models that like choose some analogs based off our current conditions. For tracks, obviously, it's hard to get a analog for a hyperactive hurricane season, like I was saying before the cut. Anyway, so this is a graphic from my previous forecast. Stronger Bermuda high and a more southern Bermuda high. Storms will track more west. So that is, yeah, that is what I'm also trying to say. Now, here's the main headline. It's kind of the inspiration for the title of the video. The unit, and oh, by the way, guys, if you haven't noticed, I'm scrolling on the slides because, like I said last time, sometimes it doesn't show all the slides and messes up the video when I try to like do it normally. It just skips slides. It's weird. Anyway, this is the highlight of the video, and this is why I kind of waited a bit because I was waiting for the official forecast to come out from University of Pennsylvania. It was kind of leaked or whatever, I don't know. But this is the official forecast. They're predicting 27 to 39 named storms, and their best guess is 33. And that is obviously the biggest prediction they've ever made. And TSR has released its highest ever April prediction. They updated their prediction. I don't know if I covered that. That was, I think I did in one of the previous videos. It was like, 23 named storms, 23 named storms, same as exact same as Colorado State University. And then, but yeah, 39 named storms would be insane. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but up to 39 named storms possible, what they think, that is absolutely insane, and they're pretty accurate. And I just think that it doesn't really matter what the hotspot is. If you 39 named storms, 33, it's going to affect pretty much everywhere. Now, again, if you are in a hotspot, you are in a higher risk, obviously, so pay more attention to it. I'm not ditching the hotspots; they're still very important. I'm just saying that everybody needs to be on the lookout due to how active the season can be. But obviously, the hotspots you have to watch more because those are the landfall hotspots. Those are where we think the storms are most likely to make landfall. I'm not ditching that at all. Don't think that. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. See, I mention it here more. Anyway, so my forecast from April 2nd, 2024. I think that's when my last full hurricane season forecast was. Those numbers there, they're definitely going to increase due to all these new forecasts and the new models. My intermediate update, though, the increased landfall hotspots since the last update, they're increasing the risk for the Florida East Coast, the Florida Panhandle, Big Bend area, and I'm slightly, so I'm also increasing the risk, but not as much, for southern Texas, the Carolinas, and Louisiana. And I am increasing the risk a lot for the Yucatan and Mexico. I forgot to put that there. But yeah, I am doing that too. But yeah, I kind of talked about those landfall hotspots and increasing them throughout the video. And the top landfall hotspots from April, the April update. Sorry, I cannot talk. Still hold true. So like Louisiana, like Mississippi, Alabama, I haven't mentioned you in these new analogs, but you are still one of the top hotspots. Like you're not decreasing in risk. You haven't gone down. You're still the very top, along with some others, or at least near the very top. Like you're not decreasing just because you weren't showing the analogs. That's not at all. Because obviously, previous analogs are still holding true. You still got what? 2005, 2010, of course. And my next full hurricane season forecast will be May 2nd, 2024. And that might include the new ECMWF run. I don't know, but it will definitely include the new Kansas tips. And then the final preseason hurricane season forecast will be May 28th, 2024. That will definitely include the new ECMWF run, Kansas tips, and the newest ENSO forecast models. And of course, those are my chances of an above normal season in the bottom right. I think it's about a 90% chance of an above normal season. I forgot to change that graphic. But then again, all the graphics will be next week on the May 2nd update. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and bye.